Well, Facebook Marketplace continues to be an interesting place to live. I found these 26-ish gallon tubs on Facebook. The hope was that they were all going to be blue. That was my hope, because all the photos on Facebook Marketplace were of a blue tub. I was going to pick these up for $5 each. So I left at the crack of dawn to drive 30 minutes away to another part of Dallas to meet this guy in a parking lot of a gas station. So, fish keeping adventures right there. And my plan was to have 12 blue tubs to match the 12 blue kind of busboy shallow tubs that I've got as part of my breeding setup. But I get there, and as you can see, there is only 2 of these tubs that are blue. The rest are black, grey, and yellow. So this guy was completely reasonable, because I was like, mate, I thought these were all going to be blue tubs. And he's like, yeah, let me look. And he looked at the listing, and he's like, yeah, I can see how you thought that, because they were all pictures of a blue tub. So he said, look, I'll give them to you for free. So there is a lot of mistakes you can make on Facebook Marketplace when it comes to containers and tubs. Some of them will have been used to store chemicals, which are very difficult to get out of plastic in a way that can make it safe. These are just basically protein tubs that we use to hold cattle feed. This guy has a ranch up in Oklahoma. And these are going to be tubs that I am probably going to use for, instead of pairs, probably a small, very selected breeding group, and use these as my my breeding tubs. The shallow tubs that I bought last week for next to nothing are going to be where I use my, where I put my fry to kind of grow out before they're big enough to go into grow out tubs. So look, it's not ideal. I wanted them all to be blue, and I would have loved the uniformity. But the point of it is, watch Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, you can get some duds, you can get some people that aren't always particularly helpful. But as much as I would have loved for them all to be blue, I do have, strains that the black tubs are going to be great. And, my Orochi that I'm planning on acquiring from Japan next year, I can use the blue. And, this is just the next little addition, the next little step towards being able to scale things up a little bit. So this guy was totally reasonable, and I ended up, even though I was meeting some guy at a gas station at 7 o'clock in the morning, where it's late enough in the year, it's pitch black, I walked away with basically some free tubs that are just going to need some Dawn dish soap and some elbow grease, and they're going to be great. So, yeah, one step closer, one weekend closer on the outdoor fish room.